everyone, in this video we are going to go over how to become an AKC champion, what you need to earn that title, and how to calculate points in your region. So AKC does have a lot of sources online, which I'll link all the pages that I showed today. And they do have a page for counting points, although it is a little bit more intuitive than that. But first things first, how to become an AKC champion. So you have to obtain a total of 15 points with 2 majors. And you can see here the 2 majors is a win that is 3 points or higher. And the majors have to be under 2 different judges. So every time you go into the ring and you have the opportunity to win 1 to 5 points in that show that day. The max is 5. You can't earn more than that. But you can earn anywhere from 1 to 5, and 3, 4, and 5, if you win that many points, those are considered major wins. And you need 2 of those to become a champion. And the way it's calculated is based on how many dogs are competing that day. Basically, the more dogs you beat, the more numbers you will get. And it depends on the sex and it depends on the region, how many dogs need to be competing to get you 2, 3, 4, or 5 points. So I'll go into how to know how many dogs need to be there and how to count your points online rather than just, waiting for the results to come out. So the first thing is when you enter a show, you're going to enter into one of these classes, and these are all the options of the classes that we have in AKC Conformation shows. You have your puppy classes split up by age, 12 to 18. You can see all the classes right there with different requirements. And then for us, for Aussies, open is divided into the 4 different colors. So we will have 4 open classes. So all the male dogs will go in first and compete together, non-champion male dogs. So and it goes in this order you see on the screen here. So the 6 to 9 month class will go first. And first you need to win your class. And winning your class, unfortunately, doesn't get you any points. It doesn't matter how many dogs you beat in your class. You have to go progress into the next level, compete against all the other class winners in the winner's dog or the winner's bitch competition. And if you win that is where you get the points. So first you have to win your individual class, whether it's 6 to 9, 9 to 12, bred by, open, doesn't matter how many are there. And then you will compete with all the class winners of your same sex for winner's dog and winner's bitch. And by winning winner's dog or winner's bitch, that's what gets you the points. So then you need to be aware of the region you're in, how many dogs need to be present competing to get you how many points. And they have to be competing present. Absent dogs don't count. What also doesn't count is if they are excused or disqualified. They have to be competing and make it all the way through their turn, basically. They can't be excused. You can't count that one. So to understand how many dogs need to be present, you need to go to the point schedule. And you can just Google AKC Conformation Point Schedule. Got me this link. You don't need to see it, but the point schedule changes every year. So you also need to see the effective date. It's always normally in May. So effective May 10th, 2022. These are the links, the divisions will tell you how many dogs need to be competing and present to earn you X amount of points. And you can see they have the past years here if you were interested in seeing how it's changed over time. But the point schedule is developed based on how many entries each region gets each year. So it changes whether it's more popular or less popular every given year. And it depends on where the show is located, not where you live or the dog's from, where the show is physically held. So we're in Florida, so we always go to Division 4, and that covers Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. So whether I enter a show in these 3 states, the point schedule will be the same. But if I were to enter a show in Arizona, I would go to Division 6, and it may be less or more dogs required. So I'm going to go to Division 4 for an example. And they're going to have all the breeds listed here, and it goes in the official order. So you'll have all the sporting breeds first, and herding will be at the bottom. So if we were doing this for Aussies, for example, Actually, that's a terrible example because they're at the bottom of the page. Let's do one where you can see the top of the page here. So the way that it's structured is it'll tell you how many dogs and bitches need to be present to earn you this many points when you win winner's dog or winner's bitch. So if we were showing Welsh Terriers, second line here, and to note, it's always going to be 2 and 2 for 1 point. It's always 2. You have to at least win or beat one other dog to win 1 point. And I should also note that this includes yourself. So you and one other dog are there that day, that's 2. 2 dogs total, and that will earn you 1 point. So you at least have to beat one other dog in order to earn any points. And then it goes up from there, and it depends on, how popular the breed is, like I had said before, in that area. So for Welsh Terriers, for example, 2 points takes 3 dogs and 3 bitches. 3 points takes 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 6 and 6. And it's not always going to be the same. You can see at Staffy's up here, it takes 4 dogs and 6 bitches for a 3-point major. So as of last year, it looks like bitches were more popular in that breed, so it takes a little bit more to be there to earn more points. So for a major, that's 3 points, or 4 or 5, but at least 3 points. So if I'm what's this big one here? Cavalier. If I'm a Cavalier and I have a female and I need a major, 13 females need to be entered in the classes, non-champions, and I need to win my class and I need to win winner's bitch in order to get a 3-point major. Now if 16 happened to be there, then I would have gotten a 4-point major. If 16 were entered and one was sick and wasn't absent, so 15 competed, that would still only be a 3-point major because it was one shy of 4 points. So that's how you kind of see how many dogs or bitches need to be present in order for you to get a major in your region. And like I had said before, just note the effective date because come May, there may be a show that is over the weekend and it's 10 dogs one day, 11 dogs the next. So just know as of this exact day, that's how many dogs it takes in that state. All right, so now you know how many dogs need to be present or competing to earn you a major or earn you 2 points. You still need to have some singles in there. You still need 15 points to earn a championship. So it could be 3 5-point majors, or it could be some singles, which are 1s or 2s here and there, and then 3-point major, 4-point major. It doesn't matter. Regardless, you need 15 points total. 2 of those wins to get you points need to be major wins, so 3, 4, or 5. So you've calculated or you've looked up your point schedule for the show. So when it is the show day, you can normally go online to the superintendent's website and look at the catalog, or at the show they have catalogs as well. So you can see how many are entered that day. The point schedule also comes out, not the point schedule, the entry breakdown comes down before the show weekend, so you can see how many entered. But we're going to go into, checking the results. So for MBF, you go to infodog.com, which is the website I have here. You're going to go to results and show results. And then whenever the show was, pick your date range. And then I'm just going to pick a random one here. So Ohio, wherever, they're going to do results. And then you're going to find your breed. So we're going to do Aussies. And now for Infodog or MBF, they will show you the points that you got. And it's not always right, so it's good to come in and double check just to make sure you got the right points for your win. So if this was a very small show. So if we go to bitches, for example, say I was number 12, I see that there's 2 bitches entered, 2 showed, because they were not absent. Absent is represented by an A, so right here. This A down here means that this special was absent. So you want to count all the ones that do not have an A or an excused, which I believe is EX, or disqualified. next to their name. So if they have a number or it's blank, meaning they entered but they didn't get placed, that still counts. So we'd count 1, 2, and it's only 2, so that's only 1 point. So this might have not been the best example. We can try to let's find another one with a bigger show. All right, so much bigger entry here. So here you can see you're going to look for, if we're counting for a male, any of the classes that say dogs, and you'll recognize the order: 6 to 9 month, 9 to 12, some novice, bred by, a lot of entries here. So you would count all the ones that have numbers, or if this is before the show's done, you would, if you're trying to see how many you could possibly get, but you would, if you say you were the one that won, let's verify that they did, in fact, should have gotten 4 points. So we're going to count how many entered, or how many competed. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip this one because it's absent, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We stop here because the next one down, it starts the bitch classes. You can see it open as the last class, and then it starts with the puppies again. But also just note that it does to change the sex right there. So I'm almost positive we were at 11 there. But I don't know what the point schedule is for this region. So we're going to double check what the point schedule is. So AKC Point Schedule, Confirmation Point Schedule, and that was North Carolina. So we're going to find North Carolina here, Division 3. Scroll down to your breed, herding's at the bottom. Australian Shepherds. So 3 points, it takes 11. Whoop, I'm in the wrong sex. We're looking at dogs. So 3 points takes 8, 4 points takes 10, and 5 points takes 13. So we counted 11, which means it would have been a 4-point major because there only needed to be 10 competing. So they got more than that. Had there been 13, it would have been a 5-point major. But there were 11 dogs competing, so that was a 4-point major, which looks like that's what the points were for the winner here. So this stands for winners. That's what gets you the point. This is actually best of winners, which could potentially get you more points, which I'll get into that. But at least the winner's achievement here was 4 points. So going winner's dog or winner's bitch is probably the most straightforward, simple way to calculate points. But it is possible, if you win more than that, to get more points that day. Once you win winner's dog or winner's bitch, you're going to go into the best of breed competition, and you could win best of breed, you could win best of opposite sex, and you could win best of winners. And depending on how many more dogs you beat, you could get more points that day. AKC has this really nice PDF here kind of showing the different examples and how to calculate the points if you happen to win that one. So here they'll have an example of the point schedule, dogs, bitches, and how many it takes for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 points, how many dogs or bitches need to be present. Very similar structure to the AKC point schedule we were already looking at. And they'll give you an example of how many class dogs were present and how many class bitches were present. Kind of run you through an example of when you win each one of these scenarios. So we already went over winner's dog or winner's bitch. But if you do happen to win more and you happen to win best of winners, which is very common because best of winners is only eligible to the winner's dog or winner's bitch, it'll be you two duking it out for best of winners in the ring. So if you do happen to win that one, it's very simple. Whichever one had more points that day, whether the dog or the bitch earned more points, best of winners will earn the max. So if the total class dogs, well, we can just, I guess, use their example. It takes 3 dogs to get 2 points. So if 3 dogs competed, the winner's dog would have gotten 2 points that day. For the bitches, it takes, or 4 were competing. And if 4 were competing, that would have been a 3-point major. So in this scenario with 3 dogs, 4 bitches following this point schedule, the winner's dog at this point would have 2 points, and the bitch would have 3 points. So now they go into best of breed, and they're competing for best of winners, which basically means which of the two does the judge think is better, just the standard better. If winner's dog happens to beat winner's bitch for that reward, then he would take her points. And you don't add them together. It's not 2 plus 3. It's whatever the max is. So since she got 3 points, he would also then get 3 points. So instead of only getting 2 that day, because you beat her and she had more points than you, you would basically get the exact same number of points that she got. It wouldn't make sense if the judge thought the dog was better that he got less. So that's kind of why they set it up that way. So whoever gets best of winners gets the max of whatever side had more points. And it does happen very frequently that you could cross over to get a major. In this scenario, the dog only had 2 points at the time, which wasn't a major. The bitch had already gotten her major because she won winner's bitch and she had 3 points. And at the end of the day, he beat her, so he crossed over to also get a major. So both of them got a major that day. If there is one of each sex competing, best of winners will receive a point, because best of winners is winner's dog versus winner's bitch. If there's one of each, then you did beat another dog. So now, even if you got 0 points for dogs because you were the only one, if you beat the winner's bitch and she was also the only one, you still get 1 point. Now, to get even more complicated, you could also get best of opposite sex or best of breed. That's a little bit more rare because normally the specials are out there. They're super trained and conditioned. Normally the ones that are being campaigned are top-notch. So it is rare, but it is very possible that you beat one of the specials to go best of breed or best opposite sex. So let's go through the example of you win best of breed. So what you would do is you would count all of the regular dogs of your sex. So if you're a male, you would count all the males just like normal. Plus, you're going to add up all the champions of both sexes. So that's a little weird where you add in some females, not all of them. So you don't count the entire entry. You count just the non-champions in your sex plus all the champions of both sexes. So in this example, they're saying winner's dog, if winner's dog were to go best of breed, you would count the 3 class dogs plus the 3 champions, dogs and bitches. So it would be 6 total. And if we look at the point schedule, with 6 competing, that would be a 5-point major. And it also is a little weird because you're counting dogs and bitches, but for a dog, he would have to beat 6 other animals, either sex, in this case, to get 5 points, which he did. So if winner's bitch happened to go best of breed, you would count the class bitches, so 4, plus all the champions again, 3, for 7 total dogs, which is again 5 points in this case, because it only takes 6. So then the last scenario is if you go best of opposite sex. And so for this one, it's a little more simple. It's kind of like winner's dog. You would count all of the class dogs plus all of the champions of your sex only. So if you were a dog and you go best of opposite, you would count your class dogs plus the champion dogs. 5 total dogs in this point schedule gets you 4 points. And if the female were to do the same thing, you would count all the class females, 4, plus champions females, 1 for 5 again, which would only get you 4 points. Another scenario that's not here, which they have like a little blurb right here, but they don't really explain it, is you could potentially both get more points depending on if winner's dog goes best opposite and winner's bitch goes best to winners, or vice versa. Basically, if you go best of opposite sex beating champions, you would get, like in this example, you should have only gotten 2 points that day for winner's dog, like down here. Was that right? Yeah. You would have gotten 2 points for winner's dog that day. But you happen to beat 2 champions to get best of opposite sex. Basically, you were the best male out of all the dogs, champions, non-champions. So you got 4 points just by going best opposite. Now, if the female goes best of winners, she would also get 4 points. That's the kind of weird thing that can be really tricky. So it's very important you kind of understand this and know how to calculate it. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll put all the links in the description so you can find these. That is a little complicated, but you will get the hang of it. So until next time, see ya.